And of course, it's taking freaking forever. Like literally this one button is just so slow. My computer's being a freaking dinosaur today. Okay, let me share my screen. Actually, and I'm going to shut the waiting room off too. So hopefully nobody gets stuck in there. But they might. I don't know. Okay. All right, let's go. Okay, I'm excited, you guys. So I felt that this week we really just needed the topic of, are you really doing the thing? This is something we talked about a lot in Montreal. Okay, so I just got back from the trip to Montreal with the leadership retreat. It was incredible. There was so much good content. And one of the things that they just kept talking about was that there are a lot of people who, say they want the things, who, show up to, they might show up to calls, they might be in chats, like they make it look like they're doing things. But when you really have to evaluate what you're doing, how many are actually doing the things, right? That's the real question, is how many are truly doing what it takes to get to where they say they want to go. So I'm just hitting the present button here for a second, sorry, so that's not giving you a tiny little screen to look at. And for me, this was just huge. There was a lot of really good points that they brought up that I just felt people really needed to hear, and just evaluate for yourselves if you're truly doing the actions, putting the time into it, and just doing what you need to do to get where you want to go. Okay, so this is all just going to be about who's doing the things. Okay, so the first thing that was just a huge moment for me, and I was like, people need to understand this, is they broke it up by hours on how much you should be spending on your business doing income producing tasks for the rank you want. Okay, and income producing tasks, that does not mean scrolling. I honestly probably wouldn't even fit interacting into that. I'm talking about you're reaching out, you're doing the calls for your team, whether it's an onboarding or trainings, ribbon cuttings, actual things that are involved with your business, right? So of course there's the few things interacting and stuff behind the scenes, and maybe you're creating reels and whatnot, but those don't really count because they might help your business, but they might not, right? It's not truly about your business. It's just things that might help your business. So we're talking only you're reaching out to people, you are showing up to a presentation, doing a QIQ, those types of things. Okay. So if you're questioning whether it's income producing or not, feel free to ask, or if you want to share in the chat, anything like that. But these are the hours. And when I saw this, I was like, holy crap, this is where a lot of people are going wrong, right? Because a lot of people are doing busy work. You feel like you're doing a lot of things. You feel like you're on your phone, or you're talking to people, but how much are you actually spending on things that truly are going to help your business? Okay, this is per week. Yes, not per day. No, per week, you guys, per week. So when you really break it down, that's okay, so let's just do the math for a minute. Okay, so elite 7 to 10 a week, that's only an hour a day. That's not that bad. So when you think about it, that's, you guys, in an hour, that's a QIQ and maybe a ribbon cutting in just that week. Or, maybe it's you sent out a couple voice messages, you spent, you could even spend 20 minutes sending out some voice messages, doing those types of things, and then one ribbon cutting. It is not much at all when you really break it up. Because when you think about it, this training usually takes about 45 minutes. One call, a ribbon cutting, takes 30 minutes. Their onboarding call takes 45 minutes. That right there is a lot of time, right? So if you want to do the things, start adding up how much you're actually putting into it. Literally set a timer. I'm going to actually go into my timer and start it, or what is it? It's the stopwatch, I guess, that continually counts. And when you start doing the things, actually press start. And when you're done, hit stop, and truly start timing yourself. So at the end of the week, you can see what you're actually spending on your business. And that will show you how much work you're putting into it to really get where you're going, right? So if you end the week and you've only put 4 hours into your business, if you're fine staying at like executive, not everybody wants to go big, and that's okay. I'm not saying that everybody needs to, be wanting elite, bronze, silver. Like, not everybody wants to be a leader and make big money, and that is okay. But if you're somebody who is wanting to advance, time yourself and check yourself and say, okay, I am only doing the work of an executive, which is why I am an executive. And you might have to, start doing some more things. You might have to reach out more, which in turn is going to get you more interest, might give you more three-way calls. That's more time added, right? It's going to give you more onboardings when people sign up. That's more time. Like, all of this time adds up to the things you are doing in your business that actually count, right? Because if you're truly getting yourself in momentum, you're going to have three-way calls, you're going to have onboardings, you're going to have, all the things. And someday you're going to look and you're going to be like, yes, I did so many hours this week. And that is a good thing, because that means if you keep going at the level you're at, guess what's going to happen? You are going to hit those next ranks. So for me, I don't know about you guys, but this was just a huge eye-opener for me to be like, oh my gosh, we have actual like math to figure this out on where people are at and what they should be doing. And it's genius, you guys. Like today, for example, I had so many calls. I've had 3 business launches. I had a 3-way call. Like, there was so much time put into it today. And, some people in their personalities might be like, dang, I'm tired. I'm like, frick, I'm tired in the best way. We're having momentum. We're doing the things. Like, this is amazing. And I want to get that time up as high as possible so that every week I can be like, yes, I worked as a freaking gold this week. Right? That's what motivates me. And that's how I know that we are going to get to that next level. Because when I really look at the time I'm spending on launching new people, on talking to new people, it is up there. Like, it probably, most definitely, it will be that 20 plus hours this week. And I am pumped, and I'm going to keep going so that it stays at that level. Okay. So I want you guys to actually like write that down, take a picture, whatever, and use those hours, and whatever goal you are looking at, get to that number. Okay. And it might be that you don't have personal momentum right now. Maybe you don't have a bunch of people enrolling, and maybe it's just you. Maybe you don't even have a team yet. That's fine. But it's going to mean you got to start somewhere, and you got to start spending that time on reaching out to other people, showing them this opportunity, just getting enough interest that you have 3-way calls. And that's going to add in some people, right? And some time. Then, you just got to work till you get an enrollment. That's going to be more time added when you have the ribbon cutting. Like, we all start at 0. You know what I mean? So don't look at this as like, well, I have nobody. It's not on anybody else. It's on you. You have to start the momentum yourself. Okay. So start timing yourself. And then they broke it down by money. And that is crazy to me, because when you really look at this, okay, if you're looking at these hours and you're like, I could not do this, like, there's no way I'm fitting this in, that's okay. Maybe you're not mentally ready for that next level. Okay. And maybe there's some mental work to get there. But when you finally are ready and you can look at this and be like, holy crap, I spent 20 hours this week, which a 20-hour work week is pretty good. Let's be real. Yeah, I spent 20 hours this week. And then you actually divide it up, even just for elite, you guys, elite, if you take, so elite is what, $750. Okay, so if you take $750 and you divide it by, let's do the maximum, divide it by 10 hours, that's $75 an hour. That is pretty freaking good. And it just keeps going up. So you can see on the bottom, bronze, money divided by hours, $170 an hour. Silver, the money divided by the max amount of hours is $200 an hour. Like, it goes up. So when you actually start doing the things, it's going to be more and more rewarding. Okay. And then when you get to gold and above, I know that that's a big, like, huge goal for a lot of you, but you absolutely could be there. That's $8,000 divided by, let's say, even 25 hours a week. Okay. Divided by 25, that's $320 an hour. That's a lot of freaking money. Okay. So this whole thing is just so good. Should be divided by 4 weeks of hours. I think that, yeah, that this time goes bi-weekly though too, so you would have to like add up like the hours. But anyways, I'm not good at math. I'm using a calculator, so that's gonna get me confused. But I just felt like this was so big and like really just shows people like the potential we have here and how you can actually do math to figure out where you're at now and where you could be. So start using this as an actual tool, okay? So that's gonna help you get to where you need to go. Is there any questions about that, or do you guys feel good about that? Like, how does this make you guys feel? Okay, because I know for me, I was like, holy crap, let's freaking go. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a second to answer and then I'll keep going. But I want to actually like hear like some of the thoughts on this. I love this. Good. I'm glad we have some people loving it. Okay, anyways, you guys are quiet today. It's fine. I'll just go to the next slide. Okay, so this is another thing that they were talking about, and this is what a leader should be doing. Okay, and yes, these are, there are more like high level tasks here, but to get to those next levels, like a lot of people are saying they want more money, they want bigger teams, they want that momentum, they want like all these things, right? And if you're somebody who wants that, we do have to develop leadership skills. And it's not a case where, you can just do it when you get there, right? If you have the mindset of, okay, I'll learn these things of how to be a better leader when I have a huge team that needs a leader, like it won't happen because your team won't get there if they don't have that leadership from you, right? Like you have to start it and start learning these things so that you doing these things trickle down to your team and that starts the momentum, okay? So I want everybody to learn this. Doesn't matter if you have nobody on your team, if you have some people, but they're not working, if you have a big team, I don't care. We all got to learn leadership in order to get there, right? So the first thing they really started talking about was tracking. There are things you should be tracking in your business, and that is volume, okay? Like if you guys were to actually like check yourself right now, who actually counts their volume? Weekly, monthly, like figuring out where you're at and how much you need. You should be doing that. Because if you're not, you don't have a roadmap to where you're going. You are literally not checking where you're going, right? You should be doing that. Next is subscriptions. There are reports for this in your back office, you guys. So if you go to your back office, you can hit business resources and then there's tracking in there and like it's called quick reports. You can literally just pull all of this super quickly, okay? So you can also check subscriptions. You can see who had one that was supposed to run and their card declined or it was canceled, something. You can check all of these things so that you can reach out, make sure things are good, see if things, failed, see who shut it off so you can ask them what's going on, check in on them. Those types of things. You can track that, okay? Executive time clock. This is something that everybody should be checking as well. If you have anybody on your team, you have to be checking this because what this means is who is on your team that signed last month and now is their last chance to go executive and get their bonuses. That is important. If you don't know who is working on their bonuses, you're not working with the right people. We have to know that so we can go to them and, make sure they're getting launched properly, make sure they know what to do and that they have the plan for how to get there, right? Like people are going to be looking for you to help them. If you want to grow a bigger team and you want that momentum and you want people winning, that's how you get it, is by going to them and saying, okay, we have 2 weeks left. What can I do to help you? Have you done your call? Are you reaching out? Like, work with those people and make sure we're helping them hit it, because then when you do, that gives you a win to shout out. You have somebody that, you get them on a call, you can have them do a testimony. Like that's what starts the momentum, was when all of a sudden you have these little wins that you can keep bringing up to like showcase, and it's going to make more people want that. Okay. Enrollments, you should be tracking your enrollments. Anybody who comes onto your team, you should be messaging them, welcoming them, just letting them know that you're another person that's there to help them, congratulating the people who are enrolling. It's a big deal. You have to take it seriously and shout these people out, right? Reward the good things that are happening. And the last important thing you should be tracking is close to rank. And there are reports for this. I'm not sure if there's one in the back office, but anybody bronze and above can easily get one. We just send an email in and they send it to us each week. So if you don't have that one, there is somebody that can definitely get it for you. So what this means is people who are very, very close to their rank, that it's literally like 1 or 2 orders. Like they're so close that it should be done that day, right? So for example, I and a lot of other leaders will every Thursday, maybe sometimes Wednesday nights, ask for that report so that come Friday, we know exactly who is really close to their rank. So we can go to them and say, okay, you are 1 order from Builder. This is going to be an extra paycheck for you. Who do you know that might want to try some products? Or who do you know that we could get on a call with? And we can help them close that week at the rank so that they get a paycheck. And that is important because, again, if you want team momentum, that's literally what that comes from, is from helping your team hit those ranks. That's literally the definition of the momentum, right? Like this is where this starts, is by tracking your business so that you know what's going on in your business and you can do something about it. Because if you're not checking in on the people that close to rank. You're not helping them hit it. You don't know who's about to earn their bonuses or who's in their last month or who's enrolling or whose volume is going up, who's not working and it's dropping, the subscriptions, like all of these things are so important. Okay. So if you're wanting to get to the next level, that's what you got to be doing. Next is specific measurables to determine where to work. So if you're wondering to yourself, who should I be working with? We're not here to manage people. Okay. I know there's lots of people that when you want more momentum or you want more success, you start diverting to, okay, well, I've got to manage my team, right? Okay. Who's working? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? And like, it's more of like forcing it on people, right? Don't need to call yourself out. I know there's a lot of people that do that, and I used to do that too. But this is where we have to really just check the things. Who is enrolling? Who has their subscription turned on? Who has an event ticket and is coming with you? Who is also tracking their team? Is there somebody on your team who is also checking numbers and congratulating their people? Those are the things you have to check. Or who's getting you on prospect calls? Who's inviting people to QIQs? Like those are the things you have to watch for. Okay. So don't go to people and be like, hey, I need somebody to work. Like, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Like, no, you check if they're doing the things. Take a step back, take a deep breath, and you pull reports. You see who is doing that. You can see who's running a subscription, who has, their tickets. There's reports for all of this. So you check yourself, and then you can go to them and be like, okay, I see you have your ticket. You're running your subscription. I am so proud of you. I want to work with you. What can I do to help? That is better leadership than going to somebody and be like, okay, I need somebody to friggin' like do this and this and this. And you start, word vomiting on them. That's not going to make them do anything. Okay. So you have to go by the measurables on where people are at. Okay. Another thing they talked big about is teaching what I do, not what I sell. And this one, I feel like I probably need to explain more. Might be a little confusing for some, but what that means is we are not bringing people in and focusing on, okay, these are the products we have. Let's learn about them. Let's go push them. We're going to sell. Like, no, we are not focused on what we're selling. You need to teach what you're doing. You need to show that you are offering people the opportunity, that you are offering them to get on a call with your mentor, that you're edifying people. Like, teach the systems. You're here to teach them what you are doing to succeed in your business, not what you're selling to succeed, because that's not duplicatable. It's really not. Yes, they might find people that want the products. And yes, you can put up a product post and get interest, but that is not going to create huge team momentum where you have tons of people coming in to work with you because you're not leading with the business, right? So you have to teach people what it is that they need to do to be successful. And you do that by leading from the front, just teaching what it is that you are doing. Okay. So for example, like I put in my stories today, my schedule for today was like all the calls. And, I got a few messages of people being like, how do you do that? Like, how do you have so many calls? I'm like, that's literally behind the scenes. That's literally like me showing you guys I'm doing the things, right? Like it shows you that people watch when you're actually leading from the front. And it's literally just a matter of I'm reaching out. I'm asking people to see what we're doing. And then I'm getting them on a call with Kristen. And then they're enrolling. I'm making sure they get their products. We're doing their launch calls. Like it's literally just using the systems and doing the things. And people will notice when it's working for you. And that means you are literally teaching them what you're doing, right? Using the programs here, okay? That is another thing they talked about so much. For you to be considered a leader here, They want to see you using what you're given. They want to see you using the Q Fit program and talking about the workouts you're completing. They want to see you doing it. Talking about FFM, having a testimony with that, following that, not trying to show big, like flashy things and, talking about how you need whatever it is, like new cars, like, they want you embodying the FFM program. And that here we really focus on helping people get rid of debt. Talk about the meetings you have with your coach. If you're in the US, you should absolutely be having meetings with your coach and share it on your posts and your stories, and talk about how anybody who partners in business with you gets a free financial coach. Like, that is huge. That is so big, you guys, and is a huge reason that a lot of leaders are coming to Q, is for that aspect, where they are no longer, meant to be flashy and try to brag on all the things they're buying. They can literally step back and save money and talk about how they get to offer people a financial coach. And like, literally, it's a big thing that all these top leaders are talking about that are coming to Q. And so we need to utilize that more and be more loud about that. It doesn't matter what rank you are. Like, we all know people who are struggling financially and need somebody to tell them where to put their money, right? So we got to talk about that. Coming to the events whenever you can, get your freaking ticket and show up. That's when you get to meet them and you can start creating that relationship. So important, you guys. It's so important. Okay. And then the last one is enrolling, launching quickly, and holding their hand. So what that means is, obviously you're doing the things, you're enrolling people, but then you're taking it seriously when you enroll people, and you are getting them in quick. You're not giving somebody a week to figure it out. When they enroll, you are saying, okay, when do you have 45 minutes to an hour to get on Zoom? Let's book it on the spot, book it as soon as they sign up. And then you say, okay, perfect. Here's your form. I need you to fill this out by the time of the call. And guess what? They're going to have it done. You might have the odd person that doesn't, but that's not what it's about. It's about showing them that you are very serious about helping them launch and be successful with this. And the more you wait, their excitement just goes down and down and down. And if a week from now you still haven't gotten on their onboarding call, guess what? They don't care anymore, because you waited way too long, and they are not going to run with you anymore because their excitement is out the window. Now they're just nervous because it's been a week and they have no idea what they're doing and nobody has helped them. So they just stop. Okay. So it's so important that to become, a bigger leader and have more success, you need to be launching them quickly, showing them the things and holding their hand. It's okay if they have a million questions, if they want it, just little tasks at a time. Do what they need. And that's when people will show up for you, when they're going to be consistent, they're going to stick around, is when they see you helping them. Okay. So that's where all of this comes into play with that momentum, and how to get things rolling for you is you just got to show up as that leader. Okay. And I know that the word leader for some is kind of, nerve wracking, because you're like, well, I'm not ready for a big team. I'm not ready for that. But we all have to start. You have to start with just learning the things, right? It might even be you show up and do all of these things, even if it's just for 1 or 2 people. But that's when you're going to have more people interested in working with you and taking you seriously and seeing you as a leader to work with. Okay. The last things we'll touch on, this was a training from Kelly Allred, and she went over what, like, the characteristics of what she sees in a leader. Okay. So not what they do with their business, but really like the inside things, what they're doing. Okay. So again, using the FFM program, we went over that one already, but that just shows you that, like, literally corporate watches that. They watch if you're having your appointments, if you're talking about it, it's crazy. I actually didn't realize they track that, but they check who does the workouts, who's using the programs. And I love that. I love that, because if we're going to be loud about that and tell people what, we have to offer here, they want to see that you're doing it. You're not just telling other people, you are doing it yourself, right? So you're using the programs. Traveling to people and attending events, so big. Like, truly, it is so much more than, just being there to see the new products. Like, these events, if you have not attended a Q event yet, trust me, you will get it when you get there. It is so much more than that. It is about the culture and the community and seeing how they truly are as people. Like, you will never understand the support and the community we have here until you get to an event and see it for yourself. I'm somebody who has been in the industry for years, and I have always been to events, always. But it wasn't until Q I literally went to Kristen after convention and I said to her, I'm so sorry. I did not push that event like I should have because I did not get it. I did not know how important that was. And then I felt awful. I literally went to her and I told her all of it. I was like, I feel so bad. I should have been pushing people way harder because I did not know that this is how life-changing it was. Like, and I now I will never stop telling people, like, you need to get there. And it just shows you, like, they watch who comes too, because that really is who wants to go big with this, right? Working with the right people. And that again goes back to that tracking. You're not just trying to build somebody for the sake of building somebody because you're desperate. You are, tracking, you're checking who's showing up, you're checking who, is deserving of it and working with them. You're embodying the 5 F's. This is huge. Okay. So how to embody that? You show yourself spending time with your family. You put them first. You truly work on your relationships. They talked about this so much, you guys. Like, they literally watch. They want to see who actually, is in a caring relationship, or you're working on it. You're trying to put time into it. You're being present for your family. You're working on your fitness, meaning you're doing the workouts. You're using the QFit program. You're using the FFM program. Like, all the things they check come back to these 5 F's. Okay. So it's all about just showing up for your business, but also showing up for your family is essentially what it comes down to. Okay. Forming a relationship with corporate. That, to me, like, when she said that, honestly gave me chills. Like, as a corporate person telling us that we should have a relationship with corporate made me be like, dang. That's when that, like, they're actually watching, like, they want you to go introduce yourself to them. They want you to put yourself out there and show up at events and, thank the people that are working there. They want you to, be part of it, ask for the pictures with them. That's how they know who truly wants this and is going to be there for the long run. That's so huge to me, that we have a corporate team who's not just there to run the company and tell us what to do. They're running the company, but they're also working with us and literally watching who wants to work with them, who wants that partnership, who's going to go out of their way to get that partnership. So that's huge, you guys. And that's a big reason to get to the events, is to start that relationship with corporate, because we are at a time right now, you guys, where you're not going to get that back. You are not going to get this timing back, where it's so not saturated. And there's freaking less than 1,000 active ambassadors in Canada. So they know the people in Canada that are killing their business. That is not going to be there years from now. Like, honestly, this is kind of like no, you know what? I'm going to wait. We'll get into that pep talk in the end. We're going to hold off on that. The next one is having no ego and you're coachable. So what that means is you're not getting jealous of people on your team who are succeeding. If you're at convention or you're at an event, if you see somebody in your team going up to corporate or going up to a top leader, you're not running up and being like, oh my gosh, this is my girl so-and-so, and like trying to take credit. That's an ego. Get that out of here. You don't want that. They're checking who is just, doing the things, being coachable. You want success for people. You'll stand on the sidelines just cheering them on while they do their thing. Like, that is what no ego means. Okay. It means you don't care who people are getting help from, as long as they're getting help, and you'll just cheer them on along the way. Okay. Managing your emotions. So this is one they talked about in terms of, like, it doesn't mean you can never have emotions, but it means you don't get overwhelmed with all this like drama and you go post about it on Facebook. You're not furious over tiny little things. Like, you're able to take a breath and like understand where you're at in the moment and like control yourself. You don't have to publicly throw all your emotions out there, right? It means you don't go up to, I don't know a specific example of this, you guys, but like, it means if you were at an event and all of a sudden, you're overwhelmed with emotions about like hard things you've gone through in the past, like, yes, you can talk about them, but they're just meaning like, you don't just like throw it on everybody, right? Like, you just got to take a breath. If you need to talk to somebody, fine. But like, it just means basically still be a business person. Okay. Act like you own Q Sciences. This was such a good topic that I actually didn't know what they were meaning until they explained it. Okay. So basically what they explained with this one is they want you to act like you own Q Sciences. So if somebody comes up to you and they're like, hey, this isn't working, or the website is glitching, and they're frustrated, You don't act frustrated back and be like, oh yeah, that's so shitty. Okay, let me go ask somebody. They want you to be like, oh, okay, no worries. I know we're in like a huge season of momentum. Let me just check with the owner of QFit right away. I will go get that figured out. Like they want you to take control and show people that like that's what we can do here. Is we can go figure it out. We have the proximity to go talk to the right people and just tell people like, no, this is where we're at. Don't be upset. We'll get it figured out. It's all good. I know this is how they run the system here. Or, if somebody comes to you and is like, this is bullshit. This price is way too high, blah, blah, blah. You don't give into that. You say, okay, hold up, totally understand where you're coming from, but I actually know we have literally like a patented technology here so that like you get maximum absorption, which is something you won't find anywhere. And so I just know that our company like are way too high on integrity. They're just not willing to bring down the ingredients to get cheap products. Like we really just want you to have the best collagen you could possibly have, right? Like own the freaking company. We're not here to act like we work for somebody else and we're just going to let them figure it out while we complain about it. No, talk like you own the freaking company and tell them you're going to go figure it out because that's what you can do. And you're going to go ask the person who will help you. Like, that's so huge. That was such a big thing for me that I didn't even realize there was like words to explain it, but I love that that's how they did it, is that you act like you own Q Sciences. Okay. And the last one is that you do everything with gratitude. You show up with gratitude. You thank people for things. You ask to help them. You show up when it's not needed. For example, at the big events like Silver Summit and whatnot, Jake literally told us, like, he was like, just so you know, we have cameras in every room of the house. Like, we check how you guys talk to people. We watch if people are helping or if you're grateful for what's going on here. And they do. I do not doubt that. They check. Like, we were literally thanked. There was a couple of us that would like do the dishes all the time, even though we don't have to. There's staff there for that, but that's where they get you, right? Is that, yeah, there's staff to clean, but they want to see who doesn't care and who goes and helps anyways and doesn't wait for the staff to wash their dish, right? Like, you go wash it yourself. You ask what you can put away. You ask what you can do. You thank people. You're polite. They watch that so much. And that to me is huge. And it's a huge reason why they're always telling us here at Q Sciences, you either fit in or you're spun out. And that's one of the biggest things is, do you live life with gratitude? You have to show up with gratitude. Okay. So that's all I had for the slides. But the last thing I just want to end with you guys before I let you guys go is just, I want to explain to you guys how big of an opportunity we actually have here. Okay. Because I don't think people understand like quite how serious this is. And I didn't until this past weekend either. But the fact that there's less than 1,000 active ambassadors in Canada, same with, I don't know if it's the exact same numbers in like Australia, New Zealand, places like that. I can't remember exact numbers, but the fact that it is so small still, and yes, it's bigger in the US, but it is still very unsaturated. It is not anything crazy. It is still a small company. This is something you guys are not going to get back in timing. You need to be looking at this as like, this is my only chance to have this spotlight, to go meet corporate, to see them watching me and killing it, to know that they're going to notice that I'm doing the things, that I have a growing team. Like right now, you can, absolutely kill it. You can get recognized on stage. You can have corporate tracking what you're doing and shouting you out, creating awards for you. Like your name is going to be up on screen at convention. Like, you might not have that chance in years. It might be huge in a few years. And suddenly there is so many people that it is a lot harder to get seen here. But right now we are so small that you literally have your hands on gold to be a big leader, to make huge money. For example, there's not a single platinum in Canada. The highest rank in Canada is gold, and there are only two golds. And there are only 8 silvers. Like, there is barely anybody. That is where this company is at, is that we are the number 1 company. And we are still so small that we can show up for the number 1 company and then become one of the top leaders. So we all should be pushing for that. Why are we not pushing to be, the 9th silver in all of Canada, or the 10th silver? Like, we should have the biggest goals here, you guys. And I know that I'm talking just about Canada in this moment because that's what we were really learning about, but that goes for everybody. But also all of you can build a team in those countries too, where you know this momentum is happening. So you can build teams in Canada, you can build teams in Australia and New Zealand. Like you could be focusing on those people, and then guess what's going to happen when you start having a team blow up in all these smaller countries? Guess what happens to your business? Your business blows up because you have people blowing up, right? So that's what we should be focusing on. It's not just about us. It's about who we can help and who we can take advantage of this timing with, and go to them and tell them, okay, look, this is the opportunity. This is how new the company is still. We can do huge things together. I'm looking for somebody to really like go huge with, and I want somebody to do events with and go travel and go, do all the things. Like tell people that, because the right person who wants that big opportunity is going to be open to it. So for example, you guys, like while we were at this retreat, I literally sent a voice message follow-up to every person I had ever talked about in the business. It took me hours, but I did it. I made one and I forwarded it to everybody I had ever talked to. And I literally said to them, okay, I just have to be honest with you. We've talked before, but I'm at a retreat right now. I'm literally with corporate. I'm with my mentors. We're in Montreal, and like they're literally telling me how there's less than 1,000 people in Canada right now, and we could literally be one of the biggest teams in the whole country, in the whole company. And I just really want some local people to help build up right now that are going to do events and are going to travel. And I want to get you to these retreats so that you can be known by corporate, and I can introduce you and do these things with you. I got so many responses, you guys. The right people will be so fueled by that. They're not looking for you to just, talk about how I need to grow my team. Like I need 2 more ambassadors. They don't care about that. They want to know what the opportunity is going to be for them and like how much this can help their life, right? We have to look at it from other people's point of view. What can we do for them? You have to focus on them, okay? So I want you guys to think about that when you keep working your business. It's just remembering the timing that we have, that you literally will not have this chance again, and go focus on other people and explain this to them. Be excited. If you're not excited, nobody else is going to be excited for you, and nobody else is going to want to join you. But I promise you, if you like really truly understand this time that we have, and you go talk about it in your stories, do a live, make posts, like be so loud about this timing that we have and what that means in this company, that it's so new and it's already number 1. Go be so freaking loud about it, and you will have people that come to you, okay? Because the people that are being loud about it, they have people coming to them. So go do your thing, okay? That's all I got for you tonight. I will see you guys again, well, sooner than next week, but we will do another one next week. But that's what I really want you guys to just think about this week, is just the amount of timing we have here and what you can do to go maximize your business and get some freaking results happening, okay? So I hope you guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you later.